of Madonna has gone on display at an art gallery in Scotland, but the artist Peter Howson had to rely on his imagination and well-thumbed copies of Madge's coffee table sex book to make it happen. That's because her husband, Guy Ritchie, reportedly banned her from airing her areolae. Here's the BBC's nudist art correspondent, Rebecca Lovell.
There's not one, but two portraits of the pop icon bearing her bits, painted by bad boy artist Peter Howson, once described as Madonna's favourite contemporary artist, but she wouldn't pose for him.
It doesn't really interest me that much to have someone sitting in front of me. The main thing is that, when you meet someone and you get to know them, you see them, you can get their character just from that.
There are those who'll say the pictures don't resemble Madonna, but Peter's quite prepared for the critics.
And it's really just a matter of opinion as to whether it looks like Madonna or not. It's just, to me, it's the essence of Madonna. I mean, to me, they look more like Madonna than Madonna looks.
Madonna's never left a lot to the imagination when it comes to putting her finest features on display, but she refused to give this project her blessing. Reaction from the Madonna camp so far?
The bad reaction, actually, of Madonna's Howson. That's all I've heard from is her art consultant. I mean, she basically doesn't like it, or she's frightened of showing it to Madonna.
I understand Peter's perception of beauty to be very different from most of us. He sees beauty in what we would perhaps see as not quite so beautiful.
There are plenty of celebs who do appreciate his work. David Bowie, Bob Geldof, Sly Stallone have all bought his paintings. And Robbie Coltrane is next on the list for a portrait, although we're promised he won't be au naturel. Each of the portraits are being offered up on the open market for a starting price of £100,000. The artist himself has suggested that Sean Penn might like to buy one and use it as a dartboard. Rebecca Lovell, BBC News.
Interesting pictures. Commentary and opinion tonight comes from Kirsty Moat, who's the deputy editor of Hot Stars magazine. You may have seen it inside OK Mag. And our featured guest is Mexican film star Gael Garcia Bernal, whose new movie Y tu mama tambien, that's as good as you're going to get on this edition, has been a huge success stateside and it's out this weekend in the UK. But for more on our top story, we can talk to Simon Grant, who's the editor of the arts magazine Tate, which has nothing to do with sugar, obviously, in this particular respect. I think the pictures look absolutely fantastic. What do you think? But you're the expert.
I think it's absolutely hideous myself, I have to say. I think it's really grim. Apparently, even Peter Howson said that Guy Ritchie would probably want to hit him after he looked at this picture, and I don't blame him, actually. I mean, it's kind of like a kick in the stomach. It's really brash and tough and rough, and doesn't actually look anything like Madonna anyway. And
yeah, but is that what the definition of art is? It has to look. But I mean, surely that depicts how, at least the media perception of her. She's strong, she's powerful, she's sinewy. She's, I hate to use this phrase, but one of them, she's dumping all over the world.
Yeah, it definitely looks like she's been working out. That's for sure. But it's a direct comparison to Titian's Venus of Urbino, which was a kind of metaphor of love. And this is not really saying that. It's actually more about Peter Howson's problems with discovering God and his drink problems, and it's actually it's a kind of self-portrait in a way.
Have you ever seen Liquid News? Because this is absolutely novel that we're discussing Titian on this, but I love it. It's good. The point about this, the Guy Ritchie thing from an entertainment news point of view, is once again he supposedly said no to his all-powerful wife doing something. Yeah. He hated the fact that her nipples were showing in a dress and they went mad. This is Ritchie again controlling Madonna. Do you reckon that's actually the case?
Well, I don't know. We don't know whether that's true yet. I mean, we haven't had any reaction at all from Madonna to this painting. She might like it. She is a fan of Howson. She's bought his paintings before, and he's apparently offered her first refusal on buying this one. So you never know, she might buy it.
We were trying to find a Mexican connection, Gael, to this story for you.
Yeah, I don't know. Does Madonna know that she's been painted yet?
Well, yeah, no, she's a fan of his, and apparently he said in a statement we just got this evening that he did send her the images, and there's been no reaction actually so far to it.
Gobsmacked into silence because it's so hideous.
Yeah. Are you married? You're not at the moment, are you? You're a very single man.
I'm a very single man, yeah.
Do you mind your wife posing for something like that?
I don't know. Depends.
Okay, the Mexican connection we've got is Frida Kahlo.
Madonna owns a portrait by Frida Kahlo.
Who's a Mexican
incredibly beautiful sad-portrait by Frida Kahlo.
She's got a big collection, doesn't she?
She has a fantastic art collection. I just think this is a bit of a dodgy kind of addendum to it, and she's kind of.
Do you think artists were increasingly going to use a kind of celebrity connection in order to get publicity, in order to kind of big up their reputation? Do you think that's what he's doing?
I think a lot of them find it really embarrassing. If you talk to people like Gary Human, who's one of the so-called YBAs, he doesn't really... Elton John owns one of his pictures, but it's not really interesting for him. Whereas somebody like Jack Vetriano, who's one of the biggest sellers of dreadful kitsch Scottish art, probably kind of likes that kind of attention. I don't know about Peter Howson, but
the only celebrity portrait I've seen that I like is Schnabel's. Hopper, Dennis Hopper. He did Julian
Schnabel's portrait of Dennis Hopper.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Just briefly, in a figure, how much would this cost if we fancied one? If you could get it, how much would it sell for?
I've absolutely no idea.
I saw one.
Tenner.
£80,000.
£80,000. I think that's a bit of a bargain.
Yeah.
Simon, thank you very much for bringing Titian onto the show as well. We've never had that before. Now, if you've ever wondered how to lure J